Hello, welcome to the First Gathering Academy. So much thought and prayer has gone into this, and I hope that you will excuse any blunders that may happen as we try to use technology to share with you how Family Search and the Family Search app today can bless your life and how you can include family history in your day-to-day activities. It's super easy. So the first thing I guess I want to share a little bit about is what my goal is. T and I both have the goal that you will find it much easier to include finding your family every day. Um, we want this to be easy. We're hoping that these episodes will be really short and user friendly. And I hope that you will understand that we are praying about what to share and how to share and hope that it will help you. I want to share little tips, little things that you don't have to watch a big long webinar and you'll be able to learn. One of the things that I hope that you will come to understand is the importance of finding your family in the records that are available. So many times people come into the family history library and they want to go back, and I want to find this grandparent in the 1600s, the 1500s, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but what records are really available and what are not. And the reality is, the further back you go, the harder it is. Most of us have ancestors that were poor, were farmers. It's very rare that we tie into royalty. It can, but sometimes some of those things are incorrect. So my favorite scripture has to do with it's in the Doctrine and Covenants, and I can't quote it, but it talks about the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And I like to liken that to what we're doing now. The last people will be the first to have their work because we have the records. Those first people will be the last to have their work done because we just don't have the records now. I'm hopeful that more and more records will surface, and those that don't, that will have help in the millennium. So as you're working on your tree, looking at your family, start with what you know. Make sure that you have you and your parents and grandparents and everything that you can about them. Look around your house, find any of that information that might be helpful. Um, and then ask family. And I'll show you a few things on the app that you can start with this week. I'd like every week to have an action item. So this week's action item is download the app. And if you don't have the app, then let's see, if you do have the app, then I want you to practice some of the things that we're going to talk about. Um, one of the things I tell people all the time is just pretend you're taking piano lessons. If you went into your first piano lesson with your teacher, and as you're getting ready to leave, what would she say to you? Practice. How often? Once a week? No, she would say practice every day or 5 days a week. Um, so come up with a regular schedule, even a regular time that you can do it. Maybe it's right after you brush your teeth. Or for me, often it's just when I get on the tracks to head downtown to Salt Lake, I get on and I will go on and I'll attach one record. And for me right now, that is my easiest time. And then Sunday afternoons is where I do my more in-depth research. But it's doable for every single one of us. Maybe it's when you're winding down before you go to bed. But figure out a time that you can time block, 5 to 10 minutes, and you will be surprised at what you can do in that short amount of time. And for those of you that have bigger blocks of time, we'll be talking about some ways that you can fill that time with one of the most addictive and most rewarding experiences of your life. I promise you that the temple will become a more rich experience, that you will feel more power in your life, that you will learn how to listen to the Spirit. When I was younger, I really didn't understand how the Spirit worked. It was working, and as I look back now, I can see it, but it wasn't until I started to find those names and I would get a thought to go look here or Google that, and all of a sudden I would find what I needed to find. And so um, even think about maybe just jotting down your successes, and then you will see the Lord's hand in finding these people. I testify that they are so anxious to be found. I've felt it. I've experienced the gratitude from the other side of the veil as I have been in the temple. And I hope that everyone can have that experience of peace and power and sometimes the very closeness of those that we're doing the work for. So I'm hoping that there are no little glitches as I do this. If there are, just forgive me because I don't want to go back and record the whole thing again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and hopefully it will do what I want it to do. And that didn't do what I wanted to do, but I'm going to do iPhone mirroring. And let me close this little calendar out. There we go. All right, so I have an iPhone. If you have an Android, it will work very similarly. You'll have all of these little buttons, and in the iPhone, you're going to want to look for the App Store. And you can type this in up here, or you can click on the app. In the Android, you'll go to the Google Play Store. So I'm clicking on the App Store for iPhone, and then I'm going to type in Family Search Tree, and I'll select that. Now, lots of times you'll get something that's not even close to what it is. You're looking for this icon right here. I deleted mine off the phone so I could show this to you. I'm going to click the download button, and it might take a second. If you don't have a lot of data, make sure you're on Wi-Fi so you can download and it will download faster. And then just make sure that you have your FamilySearch account, your username and password. Now, if you don't have any of that, then I'll show you what you'll do. So we click open, and hopefully there won't be any glitches. Click open, there we go. And I say, allow me to get notifications because I'll be notified when I get new information added. At around Pioneer Day, if I had Pioneers, it'll notify me of that. You have 4 ways that you now can sign in with your Google account, Apple account, Facebook. So you'll use your username and password, church account, or you can continue with your username. Now, if you don't have an account, we may have to address that in a minute because I don't see that showing up on my screen here. So I'm going to continue with username. Okay, here it is. And I'm not, hopefully I can just click on this right here. Oops, I don't want to do with my LastPass. So I'm going to close that out. Okay, right here is where you'll sign up. So I will put my username in, and then I'm going to enter my password. And I'm going to click sign in. If you were going to sign up, you would click on that and then you'll enter in your name. Make sure you put a phone number in so that you can access your account if you forget your login. There's some things we'll talk about later that actually your bishop will have a really easy way of getting into your account with some new technology that they have. But at this point, if you forgot your username and password, you could click here and then it will email it to you. Often we have problems. People will come in and they set up their account years ago. They don't use the same password anymore. So we will talk about if that's something that's pertinent to you, would you let me know? Put it in the chat and we can address that at a future time. So right now we're just going to sign in. And I think I put too many words in there. All right. So when you come to the main page of the app, let's see if it's going to let me see if I can minimize my, resize it. Let me do my top on my left. Let's see if that helps me. Oh, that doesn't help me. This is a new feature, being able to put your iPhone screen. Let's do top. Let's see what that does. That doesn't really do anything. Down here, the bottom of my screen, it's getting a little bit covered up. So I'm on the temple site, and down at the very bottom, there are some different buttons that you can press because you won't see this on your main screen. This is probably what I was on the first time. You'll see the tree usually is what shows up. They actually are in the middle. Somebody that of creating a new view where you will go straight to the temple, and maybe this is the new view. They're making it easier for people to be able to reserve names. So we will just roll with it, and we're going to talk a little bit about the temple. So you can see here that it will shows me my reservations, how many I've reserved. It shows how many I've shared with the temple. If I scroll, I believe it'll let me scroll. Maybe it's not, it's kind of frozen right now. Let's see, here we go. Oh, here. So shared with temple, and if you drag down like that, it will refresh. So if I make a change, so let's click on shared with temple. So I can see that these have been shared with the temple on July 30th, which was today. I was shared these ones with the temple. And if I want to take this back, so let's say I'm going to go do baptisms, I can click unshare and it will go back to me. If you unreserve it, it will go back to the tree. So my number should have just gone up one. I didn't pay attention to the numbers, but this was 991 and now it's 990. So if I want to do the sealing, so watch this number, I can click on that unshare. And now we're at 989. So see how that is. So now I go to my reservations and we will talk about this. I'll show you how to do this on a computer as well. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about the app. So when I refresh, it should pop up in the queue and it may not necessarily be in order right here, but if I scroll down, oh, I think this may have been, it was this one, and this one were the ones I just unreserved. If I decide that I want to share it back with the temple, I don't have time to go do baptisms this week, I can go to share again. So I clicked on this little button here and click share, and I'll share with temple, or I can share it with an individual. Let's say my sister is going to the temple. I want to give these to somebody else, so I can say, okay, and I can send it in text message and it will send a little link and then they can print it off. So gone are the days of having to print off and mail cards. You can just share it with an email or a text. So now the problem I have now is that since I didn't finish it, it thinks that I sent it, but I didn't send it to anybody. So it's kind of stuck in my queue here until the 13th. I can't do anything with it for those 2 weeks, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's okay. I will just put them on my top priority list. One of the questions that we had from someone was that, what do I do if I have tons of reservations? So if you have a lot of reservations, all you have to do is click this little circle, or it's a little square on FamilySearch. On FamilySearch, it'll be on the left-hand side. You'll check the box. And so you just click these, and I'm going to share all of these right now with the temple because I have a lot and I can't get it all done. One of my suggestions is share everything with the temple that you can't do in the next 3 months. So if you go to the temple one time a month or once a week, calculate that out, unless it's somebody that's really important to you. But if they're a little bit further back, further removed, and you're okay with sharing, I highly recommend it. I call it setting them to the Disneyland Fast Pass lane. When we send them to the temple, they are in that Fast Pass lane. They are in the queue. They're ready to go. And rather than basically sitting kind of hostage in your computer file on FamilySearch, because they can stay up there for 2 years, whereas if you share it with the temple, it will be done very quickly. I don't want this one to last too long. I want to keep your attention, I hope. One of the things that you know is happening is that we are having temples built at an increasingly rapid pace. And we just received some reports about different parts of the world. And as these temples are getting built, some of these places, they do not have enough members or enough information to be able to replenish their temples with names. They are going to need your names to be able to do because they are not able to find the names. So if you share the names, it's going to bless them. It's going to bless those on the other side of the veil, and they will not have to wait. So you'll check all of those. And if you've already shared it, let me see if right here it says ordinances that were previously shared with the temple cannot be shared again. So do you see how the share button down here is gone? So I need to uncheck that. And now, so I have to do this one because I pulled it, somebody else had shared it. And so if I don't want to, I can just, if I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get Grace's baptism done, I would click this and say unreserve. I'm going to save it because either I will go do the baptism or my niece will do it. So then if I want to share, then I just keep checking these boxes. See, just they're not really a box, they're really kind of a circle. And then I can come back and I can pull them back. So let's say I want to share. So watch the number, it's 989. I'm going to click share with Temple and I can choose what I want to share. So I'm going to choose everything. I think if I click here, it will, no, maybe not. I think on the FamilySearch website, you can do all of them at once. So I'm sharing all of these people with the temple. Now they're in the fast pass lane, ready to go. We'll see if we can share. I'm trying to see if we can, if it'll show up, if it'll allow me to share any other things on this app without being able to see it down at the bottom. I can't see that with my toolbar. You also have the ability to have family groups where you share. My personal experiences, I've not had great success. Some people may, but my family doesn't necessarily go into family groups. What they do is they come to Ordinances Ready. They click on Ordinances Ready and up pop the names, and that's what they take to the temple. In another episode, we will talk about what to do next. Once you've done Ordinances Ready, how do you step up your game and find more family? So here's family groups I created. You can click on this, and these are all the groups that I've created, but I pretty much pulled most of my names out and shared them. And if you want to know a little bit more about this, we can talk about this. Just let us know in the chat. And then these are the completed. So I will share this with you on the completed. One of the things that I like to do when somebody has been completed, I will click on them. This is the next step. I will click on completed. I will go to that person and I look to see where are their ordinances. Okay, she still needs her initiatory done. And if I know I'm going to do initiatory, then I can go back to the shared unreserve and then I can print it. But then I look at her parents. So she's got a father and a mother in here and one sister. If you notice something here, there is an 18-year gap. I all of a sudden have a question. I think that there's a problem here. There's a chance that she could be an illegitimate child of Betty. So I'm going to click on her and oh my goodness, look at this. It's a green temple. And if you haven't done this yet, green temple means green means go, and that means she's ready to be requested. I like to do a little more research to make sure she didn't die as a baby. We'll talk a little bit more about that research in the future episodes, but I will also check sources. I want to make sure that there's at least um, one source, and I am going to show you right now. Look what happened when I checked the sources. So you always want to check sources. Make sure they have at least one, but add every single source that you can. I can see here that she was listed in the 1910 Swedish Household Examination book. So she lived to be over 8. So I feel confident now that I can reserve her ordinances. So I come here and I click and I can request names. And I'm going to request, and now she will be in my queue. And then if I wanted to look at her on one of the outside websites, I can search records. We will talk about that next week or in the next episode of some of the other things that we can do with the app so that you can search the records. And you can look for possible duplicates or descendants with tasks. All of these things we'll talk about. I want to make sure that this is short. But you can see how all of a sudden, by just checking on the completed, so if I go back, I'm on completed, and just remember that this little bar, you just can swipe back and forth. It's the same on FamilySearch. You can swipe back and forth. I came to completed, I went to Betty, and I went to see what's happening with her family. I could do that with each of these people. Just look at the parents, look at the siblings, look for green temples, or look for little blue records that need to be attached. We will talk about how to attach those records and what to look for in our next episode. But now I can come back to my reservations, and here she is. So we've got Naomi Margareta Kvist, and she needs to be baptized. Now, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do baptisms right away, and I don't want her to wait. So I immediately share with the temple and share with the temple. If I knew that I was going to do it right away, I would um, just keep it in there. I do want to show you something. If I unclick this, I can choose the ones that I want to share with the temple. So let's say I want to share baptism and confirmation, and actually I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to share that so then I can do her initiatory, and I'm going to share with temple. All right, the last thing I want to share, and don't worry, we have lots that we're going to cover in future episodes, and next week we should have more than just what I did today. And there's lots to cover, and this is a journey. So my challenge for you this week, or my invitation, rather, as my husband likes to say, I'm going to invite you to touch the app every day. Open it up and just click around. Don't worry about messing anything up. You're not going to mess up anything that can't be undone. Um, but I am going to just do one little refresher. If I've shared her with the temple, but now I've decided, oh, I want to go do baptisms. I can click unshare, and you can do this as many times as you want. I don't think it can break. And now she will be here in my reservations, and there she is. The last thing we will just go over is Ordinances Ready. So many of you have probably already done Ordinances Ready, but some of you may not. Ordinances Ready allows you to get names from your own tree, or from somebody in your family, or somebody in your ward, or your stake, or the rest of the church. So don't worry if you don't have a very full tree yet. You can start with clicking on Ordinances Ready. And I am going to say I'm going to do some initiatory. And every temple is different in the world. Currently in Utah, you can do 4 to 5 initiatory in a session. So this one actually gave me the baptism and confirmation and initiatory. I don't think I realized that I checked that. So I guess I'm going to do baptisms. It's almost time to wash my hair, so I will probably go do that on tomorrow or Friday. So once I have all of these, I can now down at the bottom, I can click. I can't even see what this little button says, but it's a little blue button at the bottom. You'll see. But this one is really cool. It says, "This is the wife of my 9th cousin, twice removed." I can learn a little bit about her. I can learn about Greta. So notice how this one does not say how I'm related. It's probably somebody from my ward or stake. Maybe it's my husband. I don't know. Let's click on it. And it says she's from Kumla, Västmanland, Sweden. And if I click on these 3 little dots, I hope I'm not going too fast. You can put that in the comments. You went too fast, and I can try to speak slower. I can click view my relationship, and I'm relationship unknown. Sometimes it will say who shared it, but these ones are not doing that. So then here's Anna, and if we remember our steps, we're going to look and see if I'm doing Anna's work. Ordinance is right here. Here's the initiatory. Let's go look at her parents. She doesn't have any parents. Oh, and she's in 1836. I know that there are records during this time. We'll talk a little bit about how to find out if there's records available on FamilySearch or one of their partner sites in a future episode. Let me see if she has a spouse. Oh, she's got a spouse, Niels Peter Håkansson, which is similar to mine. I'm going to click on him. Oh, and look at that. He has a green temple. Let's see what's going on. So his baptism was done 2 years ago. I can see my sister actually has this requested. So Michelle, if you're watching, he's ready to have his initiatory done. Maybe see if your husband can go. Then I can request anything that's been shared. So let's just click on that request family names, and we will go over this at another point, view duplicates. So it won't allow you to request it, even though it's green, if it says duplicates. We've got to get that resolved. We'll talk about that next time. So I know that there's something that needs to be done there. I also can see, I'm going to click on each of the children. So remember, go to spouse, parents, children, and let's see what's going on with Henning. Henning, oh, look at that. Henning has been done for quite a while, a couple years. Like actually 2025 was when his endowment was done. And here's Elsa. Let's see what's going on with her. And she is in progress. This Kent Call Erickson has reserved it. So if I was curious, he's had it reserved since 2021. It expires in 2026. Generally, they're not that long of reservations. I'm not sure why. Some are longer, some are shorter. But if I click on his name, I can send him an email or I can request to message him. So we're going to stop there because I think I've filled you with a lot of information. Um, but that was just, see how even just by doing Ordinances Ready, I can click on this. Okay, we're going to do one more. I take it back. Here's Emily Cole, and this is actually a good one that I want to go over with you, and hopefully you'll be good with the length of this one. I really do want to keep them a little shorter. But since this is the introduction, I kind of have gotten carried away with the app. It's just, I think it's so cool. Oh, let's see. Hopefully let's try again and see if it's hooked in. So I learned a new thing. It powers out after a bit. So here's Emily Cole. I can see that, let's look at her ordinances. So she was done in 2023. I just reserved the niche tray. Let's look at her parents. Oh, and look at this. There's parents that they need information. And look, there's just Emily. There's a chance that she was an only child, but there's also a greater chance that she had siblings. This little blue circle indicates a record or more than one record. So if I click on that, it tells me that there's some death records and a death index for this Emily. I don't have my glasses on. BB, it looks like. So when I go back, did she marry a BB? I don't know. Let's click on her. Oh, let's go to spouses. Spouses. Oh, a Bilby. That's very likely what it is. So I'm going to look at it. That's another thing to remember is you will often encounter spelling variations, incorrect spellings. So you need to use your creativity to a point to be able to figure out if this is the right thing. If you're not sure, reach out. We have a lot of ways that you can connect with people at FamilySearch, or there's Facebook pages, or your local Ward family history person and say, okay, I really want to attach this, but I'm not sure if this is the same person. So if I click on this, I can see that this was indexed. So I know that sometimes indexes are not correct. Sometimes there's spelling errors. An E can look like an L. So I can see that this Emily, maybe BB, she was a daughter of William Cole and Frances Day. She died on the 8th of September, 1927 in Owatonna Township, Steele, Minnesota. All of those things are things that I put in my mind. For you, you may need to write these down so that you can go check and see if it's really your person. You can go back. So I'm going to go back. I want to see who were her parents. William Cole and Frances Day. I think that's what we saw. So I'm going to look at it again. And William Cole and Frances Day. So I want to compare this. This is attaching records. We're going to do a quick little tutorial on this, and we'll go into this in more detail next time. So we say compare. And what's really nice, if you ever see this little image, that means you can actually look at the record. So first thing before I look at the record, I just want to look and see if this is the same. So Emily BB or Bill B is her married name because this is when she died. Emily Cole is her maiden name. So I know that Emily's match. Cole matches what it said in the record. Bill B matches what I have in FamilySearch. Female matches. This says 1839. This one says 1837. The deaths match. Now, this birth came from a death certificate. Now, remember, a death record or death certificate, the informant could have been a family member, it could have been a friend, so there could be errors on the birth date. When it's a year or two apart, you can be okay with that little bit of a discrepancy if you have enough other things that are matching. So this BB, I would like to know if it's really Bill B. The death matches, it's in Minnesota. Let's see if there's anything else we get from this that matches. Oh, and the parents match. Because the parents match and all of these other things match minus this 1839, I'm feeling very good about this record. If you're not sure, you can skip or you can go back. I'm going to click on the little record here. And I can see this is the record in Minnesota County deaths. And I'm hoping there's an image, and there is an image down here. They have the opportunity for you to say thank you to the volunteer who indexed, so I can say thank you. And except I can't see where to send it, so I'm not going to be able to do that right now. You may be able to see the bottom of my screen. I can just see my little toolbar. Right here, I have the ability to edit because of this little pencil. I'm not going to change Emily Cole to Emily Bilby or BB. I'm pretty sure it's Bilby because this is her maiden name. You always want to have the maiden name on FamilySearch. Then this birth date, I'm going to leave because it's exact. And this is great, but I do want this Awatana Township, so I'm going to click the pencil and I click right here and I do Awatana and it should auto-populate. There we go. And it was township because it was 1857-ish. We're going to go with that. And then I can put the reason why this is correct and I will say from her death record. And there's no correct way to do it. Sometimes I don't even put a reason if it's very obvious, but I just wanted to demonstrate that to you. It shows that she's deceased and this record is going to attach. You can also click apply. So watch this. If I didn't want to type this out, I can just click apply. See if it'll do it. Apply. Well, it didn't do it. Maybe because I have stuff all already in there. Usually you can click apply and it pops it up there. And then I'm going to say save. So now you can see it's changed it over here. So we have a more complete record, which allows the computer to search for more records. The more information you add, the better the search engine, the AI that it uses to search will be. So we still have William Cole, no information on their births or deaths or places. So I'm just going to say yes, attach. And we'll go over these attaching records again. This is a crucial part of your working on your family history. You don't have to be a genealogist. You just need to learn a few key things, and this is one of the first steps. So it's just attached it to Emily, and now I'm going to attach it to her father. So I click on that. So this will attach to him in FamilySearch. You can see this is family tree, what we have right now. We do have a place of birth, which is England, so that's a good hint for future research. And I'm going to say yes, attach. So you can see now there's a check mark. Now we'll go to the mom. Frances Day, she was also born in England. Yes, attached. So we can find English records in Ancestry. Find My Past, those are both free if you're a member of the church. And we'll talk about that in another episode. If you've watched this and you are like, I really want to learn about something specific next, would you just post that in there? We'd like to meet your needs as we go along. We're going to go with things that we that are necessary, but we would love to cover those other things. So then I say done, and now I've attached one record. So if I go back to Emily, I can see that in her sources, she now has the death should be down here at the bottom, likely. So I think it was this Minnesota. Yeah, it was this one. So sometimes when you look at the records, you can see, oh, they're doing that same spelling there. Then here is Bilby in the obituary. I would trust the obituary more than what was indexed on this record. All right. Let me see if I can do this. Stop sharing. There we go. We are done for today. I hope that this was informative. I hope that this will help you. I know that it's hard to find classes that are short, and this definitely was not short. This was a little longer. This is over a half hour. After we get a little bit of foundational information to you, my goal is that we can do short little episodes that you can take and then practice. So your practice this week is to make sure you have the app, go into the app, practice reserving Ordinances Ready, and then those people that are reserved, go into their families and see if they have anything missing. And then if you struggle with anything, you can put that in the comments and we will know we need to address that. I'm so grateful you're here. I hope that you will share this with anyone that you think could benefit from trying to make family history a little bit more simple, a little bit more applicable, and to realize that it does not take a lot of time. So have a great week, and we will see you next week.